even just by looking at the tool, we were having like shivers.
Balabook at the moment aims, as I said, to heal the relationship between a business owner and an accountant. Yeah. We're the best.
For being in such a lucky position to get a brief that basically said, solve accounting issues for Cyprus, it was super exciting.
It's built for people. It's built for a modern worker, a modern business owner.
Zinona, tell me why? Why Balabook? Can you remind me why we went through this journey that can be painful sometimes?
It's been a while now, and it sometimes can be hard to forget. But we live in a part of the world that's uniquely underserved by international products that focus on helping businesses like ours to get a grip of our business finances. It's really hard, and I think struggling with finding a product ourselves that could actually help us get a grip on everything is really what started driving, and that's really where the desire I feel came to build Balabook and to share that those insights, share that ability with other businesses like us.
Yeah, I remember like when we were back in the days, like because Factory 39 is now operating like 8 to 9 years more or less. We were using Wave, right? So it was doing a bit of like basic accounting, was doing a bit of invoicing, and then it got acquired by an international company. They left Europe.
Yeah,
and then we said, okay, there must be something else. Right, so we look at the market. We looked at the traditional software for accountancy available in Cyprus, which basically you have two options in Cyprus. You either go with a generic app developed by someone in the USA or in Northern Europe, which does not speak the financial language of Cyprus, or you go with something that was developed 30 years and it's basically a glorified Excel sheet that gives you no access, is not easy to use, you cannot collaborate with accountants, you cannot collaborate with the auditor, and quite frankly, it's just for a design company, a design and software company like ours, even just by looking at the tool, we were having like shivers. So there was nothing. That's the reality.
I think that you hit the nail on the head there. I think the main issue is we are a tech company. We are a company that helps other people innovate, helps other people build products, and we really needed a tool that would actually save us time. We didn't want to use a tool that would actively need dedicated personnel to operate, or people that were specialized or needed any sort of
75,000 pages manual.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest thing about Balabook. It's built for people. It's built for a modern worker, a modern business owner that really wants to actually save time, but also get a grip and understand the information that's coming out of their finances and from their accounts.
Yeah, it's interesting because also I remember when we were developing the app, we thought it must not be a novel issue, right? So if we, as multiple business owners, are running our books in Cyprus, we are sending invoices abroad, we are in a need of having accurate financial health in our pocket, right? Because we live in a society where you can do everything with a mobile phone. There must have been others, and I remember, like we said, okay, there must be others, but let's validate it. You remember when we did that massive research trying to find out what are these guys suffering with?
Yeah, and the reality is we did see that most people had very similar pain points because the truth is no one's addressing them. The most solutions that exist currently are solving a problem for the professional accountant to an extent.
And I will underline to an extent, because even accountancy are having a hell of a nightmare and a hell of a life to operate without making names, to operate with these traditional softwares that Cyprus currently offers.
And we shouldn't, and we are not trying to bash legacy software. Legacy software was great for its time.
Yeah.
It was written at a time when people were moving away from pen and paper that they used to manage their sort of finances, run their businesses. They were built to replace pen and paper processes. The problem is they were also designed by essentially trying to replace pen and paper processes and replicating those pen and paper processes in a digital world.
So
we
true.
now, in 2025, we live in a completely different world. We live in an interconnected world. We live in a world where everybody has the entire knowledge of the world in their fingertips with their phones. Having solutions for one of the most critical parts of your business in a software package that lives on a computer under your desk that you cannot access from anywhere, that you need specialized staff to operate it and give you meaning.
Yeah,
that's not how 2025 works for anything else. Why should we accept this for our finances, for our insights?
Yeah. Imagine if your WhatsApp subscription came with a yearly installation, maintenance fee, and with a dude that comes into your office and has to install a server of WhatsApp so you can work. And in reality, it sounds absurd, right? If you think about it, we're living in a society that it's so easy to do anything now on the cloud. And we are 2025, and Cypriot businesses and Cypriot accountancies are still struggling with that. So when we did this market research, we saw an enormous amount of people that had the same pain point. We saw the small business owner that he had no understanding, no clue, Simera today, how his financials were doing, right? He has to call Mr. Pavlos, the accountancy, that maybe he's busy, cannot pick up, or he's overwhelmed, and then the next day we'll call it back. Here we go. This is how your business is doing. Mind-blowing, right? Mind-blowing. We can literally have a virtual girlfriend now on AI, but if we're looking into our finances and we're looking to invoice, to do payroll, yala on Cyprus, it's a big pain point. And then the other thing that I remember, we focused quite a lot to activate our purpose, help businesses and accountancies spend less time doing accountancy, because the reality is that you shouldn't be scanning manually receipts. You shouldn't be picking up the phone with your accountant to have information. You should be instantaneous, right? And the other thing was like deciding, okay, how do we want to do it? Do we want to take the shortcut that usually startups in Cyprus take, which basically is a copy and paste of a solution that worked abroad, or do we want to redesign the whole accountancy ecosystems and flow in order to make it easier for everyone? And obviously, they're both answers to the same problem, but come with a completely different mindset.
I think our goal is, as you said, to come up with our way of solving this problem. Go back to the drawing board, not try and reproduce existing and tried processes that may have worked for a different time. We try to...
Or a different country.
Yeah. We try to kind of go back to the drawing board and see, okay, how can we actually... Whatever that process may be, whether you're trying to invoice, whether you're trying to manage your expenses...
Reconciliate.
We try to kind of take a step back and think, okay, what's an efficient way to accomplish the desired outcome, rather than trying to think, okay, this is how they used to do it 30 years ago. How would we make this digital? I think that's one of the big strengths of Balabook, is like we come at it from a point of view of let's figure out what problems businesses struggle with, and how can we actually solve them from scratch.
Yeah, it reminds me that supposedly quote said by Henry Ford that said basically, if I ask people what they wanted, we'll have had faster horses, which I think it's for a company like Factory 39, which works with incredible corporations around the world in terms of design, branding, software development, the type of code that we write. If there is something wrong in that, it's millions by the minute, right? It's that critical of a software development. For being in such a lucky position that to get a brief that basically said solve accounting issues for Cyprus, it was super exciting.
It is definitely it's an industry that really interests me, because obviously we run a business, right? One of the more critical parts of running a business, aside from the fun stuff, which is actually doing the work, there is also the other side, which is running a business, like caring about the finances, caring about your vendors and your customers, your employees, making sure they get paid. I think it is
payroll, benefits, time off, invoices, credit notes, like all that stuff that people, quite frankly and rightly so in a way, hate doing it, because the process of doing it right now is so fragmented.
Exactly. Putting your business on autopilot on those things, and I do appreciate a lot of business owners do put their business on autopilot for those things, because quite frankly, they're boring things. They're boring things for most people to have to do. It's a chore for most business owners. Most business owners want to do and want to focus on what actually makes them tick, what actually makes their business great, not like doing reconciliation, as you said earlier, or any kind of admin. Like, we want to spend the least amount of time possible doing admin work.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever heard a business owner that basically said, "Oh, can I have more admin and less work?" Like, no one says that. And what that effectively means is the majority of business owners in Cyprus end up essentially handing everything off to an accountant, a bookkeeper that probably doesn't even work at their firm, and they have no visibility.
Yeah.
This creates a bit of a kind of a toxic relationship, I think, between the business owners and their accountants.
Yeah.
But it also creates a toxic relationship between a business owner and their finances. Like, so because the majority of business owners honestly have no idea how their business is doing. Like, they do what we call bank account accounting. So they just look at their bank account and think that the number, if they have money in the bank account, their business is okay. That's like, that couldn't be furthest from reality.
Yeah.
But that's the reality that most business owners have. And if you ask me, I think that's a big reason why the majority of businesses fail, because the majority of businesses fail because basically business owners have no idea.
There is too much latency, right, between the today work and what actually is reflected on the books, because a lot of these businesses that we worked with, and then we're going to go into the accountancy as well, because it's important that we consider also them as a vital part of this conversation. But like, we've been busy, right? We've been selling a lot. Like, I was very stressed this year. This year must have been great, right? And then go to the end of the financial year, and where the heck is my money? like even having the mindset of like having an assumption that the business is going well based on how busy you are, without having any zero latency feedback on how currently today similar your financial health is, and waiting the end of the year. I mean, that cannot be a way you're running your business in 2025. And
that's the ethos of Balabook. Like, one of the reasons I talked about, and apologies if I'm jumping ahead there, but like one of the problems is the reason I talked about the sort of toxic relationship between businesses and accountancies is because, and this is no fault of the accountant. It's completely logical the way the collaboration exists. It's basically a business owner once every 3 months, once the time to submit sort of their tax return comes, they basically take a box of receipts or a box of invoices, or just basically take photos of a bunch of invoices and receipts and send them off to the accountant. Job done. That's the accountant will basically try and reconcile with the bank accounts, figure out what kind of happened, submit the tax return, and that's it. Job done for another 3 months. And we have no idea how the business is doing during those 3 months until usually tax time comes. The trouble with that is, obviously, one of the issues is the business owners have no idea what's happening during that time, but also it devalues the skills and the potential insights the accountant should be able to provide to their customer. Because an accountant obviously cannot. If you're an accountant and you have 400 or 500 companies to manage, it is logical that you're not spending every day managing every company. As much as you would want to, no matter how big of an accountancy firm you are, it is illogical that you would be on top of things with every one of your customers if the relationship you have with them is that you get their basically new information once every 2-3 months, and dedicate 1 or 2 days once every 3 months
Yeah.
to actually update their books. That basically creates this weird relationship where you're not getting any sort of insights or expertise type, like you're not getting any ongoing advice and you're not able to provide any meaningful advisory service if you're operating this way. And from the business owner, they're basically completely blind. That's where Balabook aims to. That's the relationship that Balabook aims to heal.
Yeah. It's a bridge between all the parties involved in creating a successful business. Then that's the reality. Because if we're looking from the accountancy side point of view, like these people went through an intense journey with their studies to be in a position to support businesses' growth. I see this as a definition of an accountant. You know, it's your partner, it's your sidekick, it's your brother from another mother in the terms of like running your business. That really helps to facilitate that business growth. Because the reality is that running a business in Cyprus or running a business in 2025, it's hard. It's competitive anywhere that you work. Sometimes traditional businesses, the margin are very little. And that's also where an accountant can come with their expertise in helping to make sure that the books are running smooth, being a partner to help you take financial decisions, obviously helping you avoid fines and everything. But the reality is that currently how the accountancies in Cyprus operate is that they do not have time for that on top of that, right? Because they're just running around chores, which quite frankly is monkey work. A lot of that is just typing back into this glorified Excel, and they are being scanners in a way, right? They're scanning paper information into the digital information and then doing the books, moving to the other, moving to the other, So how are we supposed to help our partners if this is our work? Plus, they have 7 people on the payroll instead of potentially having 2 with an efficient workflow. So not only Balabook helps accountancy, free up their time so they can finally be that profession that they deserve to be, but also cuts costs. I mean, it's any given. Like the beautiful part of technology is efficiency. Efficiency means cost cutting, means business growing.
For me, it's not so much about the cost cutting. It's about the more efficient redistribution of that cost.
Focus, yeah.
If it is less valuable, both for the accountant and for the business owner, if the majority of the expense of today's accountants, this is basically payroll for people that do bookkeeping, instead of mostly paying for people that actually provide advice and doing and being the partner that we just talked about. The reality is, if you look at modern accountancies and modern firms, the majority of the staff that they employ are basically bookkeepers. Like they just enter information into some form of computerized system. Like that's what they do. And then you have a few people higher up who will be involved with sort of either tax advice and so on, or a bunch of auditors that will be doing their own thing with auditing companies, again, during tax time and so on. And very few people actually directly involved with day-to-day supporting and advising business. Or I think that's a much more valuable service these firms can provide to companies rather than providing the job of manual data entry. And
much harder to replace job, if I may, as well.
Exactly.
Now that we're talking about AI taking over and everything, I think the position of a partner is a protected position into the ecosystem of business versus the position of a typer.
Yeah, I think the reality is, and where we are today with modern large language models and vision models, is the reality is that the majority, or if not all, of the manual data entry type work is, quite frankly, on the way out. Like this is not an area where people should be focusing their efforts. Like they should be using tools like Balabook to help them get rid or massively reduce the amount of manual labor they have to do in operating their systems. The reality is the system should be there, making it simple for the data to and the information to go into the system, and then spend the majority of its time providing you what's useful, insights and support.
Yeah. So I think since we flirted a bit with the concept of AI and kind of like where work is going briefly, I think it's important also that as a technical co-founder, as a product owner, as a software guy, as my number one geek for anything that is into technology into the future, where do you think modern accountancy is going, and what part do you think we as Balabook should be playing into this?
Balabook at the moment aims, as I said, to heal the relationship between a business owner and an accountant. We are focusing heavily in massively reducing the amount of manual work that both sides have to do. The reality is we want to basically almost eliminate the amount of manual work a business owner has to do in order to deal with their accounting-related admin work, and from the accountant's side to, again, eliminate or almost eliminate the amount of manual, non-value-adding services that they provide to businesses. And I think that's where we're gonna, that's the path that we're gonna continue heading towards. I think we are already leveraging every modern technology, especially AI, to help get us to that point faster. That's the path that we're gonna keep going towards. And I feel that's where everybody should be heading towards.
So if we were sitting in a cafeneo now, having a KO or having a coffee, and we had a bunch of our accountant friends on the table, business friends on the table, what type of conversation, what type of things would you say to help them on board on Balabook? And I guess what I want to say is, like, we live in a competitive market, right? So there are other opportunities and other solutions on top of Balabook. Why do you think that we are the ones that they should go with?
The easiest answer is, and the cheekiest answer would be to say we're the best. Mm-hmm. The reality is we are also the only ones that they might find at the cafeneo.
Yeah.
Because
represent.
Yeah, because Balabook was built in Cyprus from a local team. A big local team, I might add, so they might find us in even more cafeneos.
We might take over a few if we all go in one.
But yeah, on a more serious note, Balabook is a tool that will always be improving. We already cover the majority of all business critical operations that a business needs to operate, from both the side of the business and the business owner, and the side of the accountant managing their clients. We are at the forefront of modern tech with APIs that allow you to integrate with pretty much anything, with automated processes for everything from payroll to reconciliation to invoicing. Like, we've got it all. A very powerful AI machinery on the back of all of our technology that underpins most of our automations. And the reality is we have a great team based locally that will always be there to help you, assist you, answer your questions, provide support, but also be there to listen for any suggestions you might have for the future of this platform.
I think that's very important, right? I think we again, going back to the work that Factory 39 does, we're in a lucky situation that we work with international team, we work with European team, we work with local team, we work with relocated local teams, we work with mixed team. Like, it's like we are in such a privileged position that we can be contaminated, but many industry and the keyword is now. What is happening now? We know that, and what we know also is that for a local solution, it's important to be honest about that word, local. Right? What is the point of having someone that is not a local business owner, did not grow up in the local financial ecosystem, does not speak the financial local ecosystem, does not understand the nuances, because not everything is written on paper. I think a lot of the relationship that happened in Cyprus as well, it's network. One of the beautiful things about living in Cyprus is that, right? Everyone is one phone call away. For us was always a top priority to perhaps go through more issues in related of having a local team, because it's also a local market. As a founder in a tech space, we know how hard it is to find the right talent, but we have the right talent. And for us, always was like number one is made in Cyprus, for Cyprus, built locally by a team that is one phone call away. Right, every single of our clients, they can pick up the phone, they can call us. The people that you see on this video, on the other video, they're in Limassol, and there is an address, and I think it's important as a trust factor as well, especially in Cyprus.
Yeah, no, 100%. As I said, it's I think one of the things that underpins Cyprus, which is why we have built Balabook for Cyprus.
Yeah.
The reality is, unless you build something, especially something like an accounting platform in the country that you're building, it's very hard to actually have something that actually complies or knows about the local rules, regulations, and can keep you on point.
Yeah, without offense, it's not a fitness app, right? This is an incredibly complex product to solve for a market and a geography that is historically complex when we get into this topic. So not only we have the design, the strategy, the research, and the software development, but we also have a team of accountants that help us build with that. And before we even wrote one single line of code, what we did, we spoke with people, right? We did market research. We tried to understand what are the pain points, and I think like how I will wrap up is that like also the subscription and the price attached to the app, it's so minimal that like again it's our baby, so I'm off part, but it's a no-brainer.
It's less than the cost of a pizza, man.
Yeah.
Like it does like. Does financial peace of mind is that not worth
more than a pizza? You're talking to an Italian here, you know. You can argue. We can argue. No, but you're right. Is peace of mind, efficiency, and we said from financial health, branded invoice, the payroll. The payroll, without going too technical on that, but I could tell from your face when it was payroll day, like your body literally was going into like stress mode, because like for a team as big as ours, I knew it was your nightmare every month.
Don't get me wrong, we've done payroll on an Excel spreadsheet for 6 years. It is possible. But boy,
suggestible?
Is it a breeze to do payroll with Balabook and just have it done in like 30 minutes, payments included, because that's automated as well? Like that, you can't even compare.
No.
Like the reality is, yes, we have done it for the first 6 years of our business. We were doing our payroll on Excel spreadsheet. It is possible. But if you're
we're not proud of it.
Well, if you're a business owner and you value your time more than I did mine, let's say, then yeah.
Listen, there are Olympic games for Excel competition. Huh? There are people that absolutely love Excel. If you're not one of those, Balabook subscription start for free. Sign up now. Listen, buddy, and last thing before, without going too technical, what does Balabook have today in terms of features? I think it's important. We covered the story, we covered the why. I think it's important that we go quickly also into like what we have today and what's our vision as well in terms of solutions.
Look, Balabook today does, as I said earlier, pretty much everything that a modern business needs. So for the business owner. It can handle your invoices, your expenses. It can handle managing your bank accounts. You can hook your bank accounts with most banks into Balabook, which basically means that you don't even need to update Balabook with any kind of transactions that goes to your bank, because that happens automatically. We mentioned earlier payroll. It can completely automate payroll for you. Beyond that, it will give you financial insights with obviously the industry standard reports, but more important than the reports, it will give you information in a visual, easy to understand way. And if you're an accountant, it can help you really manage multiple companies. You will be able to collaborate with your business owner clients in a much more streamlined way. There is you will not need to have this manual exchange of information. Your clients are able to essentially handle their own expensing, because they can use Balabook's mobile apps to scan any invoices or receipts, and Balabook will take care of doing the accounting for them. All you have to do is basically check and provide feedback or insights. It will streamline your day-to-day operations with our AI features, or it can support you in your mass payroll operations that you might be providing for multiple clients. And as I said, there's no limits to how many companies you can have on Balabook, or you don't need to sign in, sign out. You don't need to worry about things like backups. That's all stuff
no
that we take care of.
No internet installation fee, and no ugly machine as well that sits in someone's desk.
If you work with international customers as well, and you have to deal with like different currencies, Balabook's got that completely automated. You don't need to worry about like accounting for kind of multi-currency transactions and things like that. I know I'm getting a bit technical, but those are things that modern accountants struggle with every day. Like it takes genuine amount of time entering foreign currency transactions into a system. With Balabook, you don't even have to worry about that. You just basically either trust the AI to completely do it for you, and it will, or you can just handle foreign transactions as if they were local, and Balabook will automate any kind of currency conversions or any kind of reports. If you want to audit customers, Balabook will provide you all of the information required for an audit, basically automatically. You can basically continue use whatever tools you're using to provide your documents. Just basically get the information out of Balabook with just a couple clicks. It really is about efficiency, and because it's a tool built for humans, there's very, very, very little, if any, training required to use Balabook.
Yeah, I think that was always important for us. Like, I don't know why the picture that I got in my mind is kind of like a pilot flying a plane and being in that part of the journey where it's an autopilot, right? So you have the cockpit where you see all the data, all the numbers, you see exactly how your business is operating, but then you have this button goes on and it basically is almost taken care of. I think we have a lot already that works like this into Balabook, and I think it's fair to say that the vision is where both business owner and accountancy, like, they are mostly on autopilot, you know? So why? Because the business owner can focus on growing their business, or doing suvla, or going at the beach, whatever they want to do with their extra free time. And the accountancies can spend less time, spend less money, grow their business, and also get some free time off. But it's the frustration that we want to kill. I think it's the emotional load that people immediately have as an immediate response when you hear accountancy. I think everyone goes into protective mode, oh my God, no, I don't want to do it. It doesn't have to be like that, because there is a technology now to solve that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think we have gotten to 2025. We need to start adopting things that actually make our lives.
We need to listen.
quicker.
We're behind in Cyprus. That's the reality. It's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful place to live. There are a few things where we are behind, and I think it's important that we come together and push forward and remove anxiety and pain from accountancy.
For sure.
See you next time.
Thanks.